Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Travis and I want to thank you for checking back in with another TDH upload. Today's video is picking up where we left off, working on the 305 that came out of my Formula F20. Let's dive right into this, guys. Yeah, that don't look too pretty. That don't look pretty at all. Cam don't look too bad. But the bottom end of this thing looks atrocious. Look at this. I'm sure it's a little bit of my PB Blaster mixed in with my Marvel Mystery Oil, but yeah, that is gross. So I've gone ahead and popped out pistons 1 and 2. You guys can see the crank don't look too bad. It's a little rough, but it could use some polishing. I'm feeling really good about that. Check out the bearings in here. You guys can see that they don't look too bad. The second piston, it definitely has a lot more wear to the bearing. You guys can see there the coppering. You got a little bit of a groove there in that bearing. I'm gonna keep popping these guys on out and get this guy cleaned up to the best of my ability. Oh, that's exactly how I broke that ring right there. That's how you guys see that ring. Freaking knock this thing over. One of them over here. There it is. There's a whole chunk of it missing. Well, annoyingly enough, the low battery warning came on as soon as I was breaking the hardware free from the main caps, but you guys can see here that the main caps came off and obviously the crank came out. Everything seems to be in okay condition. I'm not going to say it's in good condition. You look at the main cap bearing here. She looks like she's a bit worn, and same thing with number 3. That one's a bit worn. So it definitely has some hours on it. The boat has 1,017 hours, and you can definitely tell. That's really not a lot of hours for a boat, or in general, but this thing is 40 years old, so it does make me feel much better that I've taken it apart and I'm going to be running through everything. On Monday, I'm going to be bringing the block up to the machine shop and getting that dropped off. So in the meantime, right now, I'm just picking off all the little odds and ends. I've got to pull off these spark plug wire holders up the top. I just had these motor mount bolts, or excuse me, bell housing bolts chilling in there. So I need to pop those guys out and then get this stuff cleaned up to the best of my ability and get ready to take her down there on Monday so that way they can run through it. I'm gonna have them install new cam bearings, obviously along with hot tanking the block, and then checking clearances on the crank and checking clearances from the connecting rods to the crank to make sure that I can run standard bearings. I'm hopefully trying to get away with standard bearings. I don't wanna go oversized, and I'm hoping that we can just polish this crank. You can see she's got a little bit of wear on her, but to the fingernail, it's pretty smooth. Just this midsection right here, where the two con rods meet on the crank, it's a little bit of little wear, excuse me. But on my fingernail, it is pretty smooth for what it is. So that's about that, guys. We've got this ripped down. I'm gonna pluck off these last little bits, and on Monday we'll go ahead and swing her up into the truck bed and get her down to the machine shop. Everything's all pulled off the motor, got it bagged up, labeled, ready to rock and roll. We'll step into the office real quick. I just did a good bit of organizing for my big old 305 bomb that went off in here. Got the head still chilling on the desk. You guys saw that, but I reorganized this whole entire rack so that way it's just a little more clean, a little more straightforward. And then I also went down to the local yacht center here, Lamb's Yacht Center, and picked up some of this grease off. This stuff is supposed to be really, really awesome. And I picked up a little bristle brush. And over the weekend, we're gonna pull the cover off the boat and we'll start cleaning up the bilge and getting all that grime and nastiness, and however long it's been since somebody else has been in there and cleaned it. We're gonna go in there and clean that stuff up. And then also where all my little dirty fingerprints are and stuff, I'll just go back behind it. You guys can see right there. I'm not gonna take the cover off right now, but you can see all the fingerprints and smudges up there along the top of the fiberglass. I wanna wipe that stuff out, so that way when it's sitting here in the sun and it's getting baked on, I don't have to worry about those fingerprints and stuff never coming out. I know I can also go back and sand it. That is about that. I will see you guys in the morning. What's going on? We are back out here working on the boat, guys. You can see I made a mess already. Didn't even get started and I'm making a mess. Anyways, guys, I'm up here in the bilge and we are going to town. I've got some of this awesome grease off right here. This stuff is freaking awesome. It's been working great. I'm going through and just spraying everything down, letting this cleaner eat out all of that grease and buildup. And then I bought a little brush hanging out down there. I'm gonna come through and start wiping this stuff down, trying to get it cleaned up the best that I can. So let's get to it. It's probably been 20 years since the bilge shined up this clean. It really didn't take much. That grease off stuff works freaking great. And that bristle brush down there, I didn't film most of it because I had water splashing freaking everywhere. I had the hose up here, and honestly I just let it fill up the bilge and I was just wiping everything down the best that I can, cleaning it all up. And cleaned up all along the corners there. Same thing over there. And I actually cleaned up that corner. I was able to pull up the carpet. Can't see because the blower hose is just hanging there, but I wiped that down and I've got to move over to this section and clean this out. But I'm gonna have to move my trim tab and trim, well actually that's for my trim tabs and that's for my actual trim. So this motor needs to be pulled up and it's honestly not even connected right now. So I'm gonna have to dig through that, figure out what powers that, and then yeah, sort that stuff out. But I do want to pull this remaining bit of this carpet up and clean in behind here, and then from there I'm going to start going through the wiring harness a little bit and trying to straighten this up the best that I can, because this just looks ridiculous. This right here, this is just ridiculous right here. This could be cleaned up so much better than this, and that's what I'm going to do. That'll be the next thing on the agenda while I'm up in here. And then while the motor is at the machine shop, we're gonna start messing with these floors. I'm not looking very excited to mess with the floors, but they need to get done ASAP. Like ASAP, well not ASAP, but look at that. I just want it done in the peace of mind. And while the motor's out of here, we'll re-plywood the entire deck and then re-glass it. So that's the name of the game, folks. Looking so much better. It's insane. Just a little bit of TLC. Well, guys, that's all that I have for you in today's video. Can't get over how gorgeous that freaking boat looks. I'm tripping, man. I don't have much else for you guys. Like I said, I'll get this short block down to the machine shop. I'll start filming that for tomorrow. I gotta go pick up my carburetor. That guy's ready to rock and roll. I will wait before I order any parts for this unit. Aside from an oil pump, I'll probably grab an oil pump. Actually, I'll just ask the machine shop if they have one on hand. I'm just gonna see what they have on hand before I order anything from Summit Racing, because I have a whole cart full of parts. And then obviously I have those marine grade gaskets. I'm just trying to get this freaking bottom end reassembled as quick as possible in the correct fashion, the right way, and get this guy all together so that way we can move our attention to knocking out the floors and doing some glass work on the boat, because that's the other stuff that I want to handle. I've decided that I'm probably just going to end up going with an SEI drive. I'll talk about that a little later on when we get closer to that, but that's about all that I have for you guys. So I do appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Be on the lookout for the next upload, and if you haven't already, swing by the store. We actually got new t-shirts in stock. I'm working on getting some new TDH, new logo hats in stock. I've got new stickers in stock, so please swing on down. The link is in the description. Grab some merch, support your homie, support the shop, If you guys need any 4th gen to 2 gen conversion brackets, those are still up on the site. Steering box braces, those are still up on the site. And if you guys are looking for anything else, please shoot me a message and keep me in the loop. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you guys in the next upload. Later. I'm always in the dark.